up, people?
Yo.
Welcome to our inaugural podcast. We got Duke and Sean here.
Yo. How's everybody doing?
All right, so we got the NBA season starting up here shortly. I know we're all excited. I'm excited, even though, listen, I got a couple disclaimers. I am born and raised in New Jersey. We're out here in Phoenix right now, but I've been a diehard Knicks fan my entire life. It's not been fun, but it is what it is. And then on the opposite end of the spectrum, we got a Laker fan over here.
Hey, let me be clear. I'm a player fan first now, so I am a LeBron James fan. I just want to put that out there. The early disclaimer: LeBron James fan. So yes, currently I'm a Laker fan.
So it's funny, like that was, I think that's really like a thing that started with your generation. I'm a little bit older, so like to me, it's always been a thing of like, you're a fan of where you're from. And unfortunately for me, when it comes to basketball, it kind of sucks.
Yeah, yeah, and fair. So growing up, I did start out, I'm from Flint, Michigan. I did start out as a Pistons fan, but yeah, LeBron kind of came and took the league by its head, so yeah.
Hey, and I saw that happen with MJ, and like I don't blame people for it. Like we were all MJ fans as kids, but I at least had Ewing to rest my laurels on, and now I don't know, I got Randall, I guess.
Yeah. And it kind of sucks, like being a team fan and then your team just starts to go to shit for like 6-7 years. It's like, what the fuck am I being a fan of?
but for real though, like when they come around, it feels so much better. Yeah, I have to say that. Like I haven't really had that opportunity with the Knicks much. The Melo days were basically
I remember that. Yeah.
The best times in memory.
Yeah.
But like we've seen some pretty shitty days with some of the other teams that I've been involved with, and then like when they do finally come around and they start winning championships, like ask Met fans, like I mean they're all losing their mind right now, but when it comes around, it's good.
Yeah, I'm hoping to see that with the Pistons. Like the Pistons, I think. I mean, we're gonna talk about this a little later, but I definitely see a bright future for them. Not champion. I don't know about championship, but I definitely can. I see something for them.
Hey, you never know, and I mean, it's tough in the East.
Yes,
it's tough in the East these days.
People weren't saying
which
that
feels weird.
A while ago. Yeah, I know. Very different.
You go back 3-4 seasons, and the East was the Cupcake Conference.
Yeah. Or was it only that because LeBron was there?
Hey, I mean,
that was the knock. That was the one. Oh, you only won in the East.
So is LeBron the reason why we can like blame everybody moving to the East now?
Personally, I think so. But we're not going to get into that. Save that for another day, another topic. All
right, fair enough. So I mean, we got the start of the season here. So I think let's set some baselines. We should go over top 3 seeds, who we feel are going to be top 3 seeds in each conference. We'll go over some team things, some individual things. If we ramble on, this is going to be a 4-hour-long podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
Ain't nobody got time for that. So, all right, let's start with the East then, the hard conference. Looking at what happened last year, looking at a lot of the moves that happened this year, me personally, I don't really think that there's going to be a whole lot of difference in the top 3 seeds. For me, I think the only change is that you're going to swap the Celtics out and the Sixers in.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, top 3 seeds in the East are looking Heat, Bucks, Celtics. I think that the majority of those teams haven't really had a significant amount of change, some change, but they were already good. There was nothing wrong with the Bucks that you needed to fix. So to me, I don't see those moving. And you've got established players on established teams, established chemistry. So to me, the East runs through those 3 teams.
Okay, I have a different outlook on it, and I'll tell you why. So I got the 76ers, the Cavaliers, and the Atlanta Hawks as my top 3 seeds in the East.
Cavs and Hawks, man. Cavs and Hawks.
76ers, in my opinion, what seed were they last season?
The Sixers were the 4 seed.
They were 4 seed last season. In my opinion, they had one of the biggest off seasons. I mean, they got Montrez, they got PJ Tucker, which is really big. They brung James Harden back on a pretty good deal.
But they still got Tobias Harris.
In my opinion, that's not a bad thing at all. Tobias Harris is what, like, their I didn't even mention Tyrese Maxey, but Tobias Harris is like their fourth option. 3 on a good night, fourth option. Tobias Harris, he was an all-star before. They did really good. So they're definitely I think I see them like as a number 1 seed, number 2, depending on Joel's health. I think they can still win a lot of games without Joel, but let's hope that he's there the whole season. Cavs, we know what happened with the Cavs, the big trade, Donovan Mitchell. They kept pretty much all of their core. So you got Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell, Isaac Okoro, Jared Allen, Evan Mobley, Kevin Love. Like, it goes on and on. Their team is pretty deep. They have one of the deepest teams in the league. They're also very young. They're going to try to win every game. I see them number 2 or number 3 seed. And then the Hawks, DeJounte Murray and Trae Young. That duo is going to be exciting. It's going to be amazing. I can't wait they're one of the most exciting. They're going to be one of the most exciting teams this season. DeJounte Murray taking over the playmaking duties and the defensive duties and letting Trae Young just score is going to be amazing. And I didn't even mention the rest of their team. We don't really need to, but yeah, Clint Capella. What's the forward's name? Can't think of his name. John Collins.
Oh, yeah.
John Collins. They're gonna be pretty good. So those are my top 3.
I do think those teams are gonna improve.
Solid.
You're talking about 8 and 9 seeds from last year, and I do think that they're gonna improve, but I just think that there's too many questions there, and I just don't see them competing with those other teams. And even teams that I didn't include in the top 3, I just don't see them consistently competing with. The Celtics, I think, are going to be victim to some internal strife, I suppose you could say, but they still got to go through the Nets and the Celtics to get to that level. So for me, it's hard to see them passing those teams.
So let me be clear about my picks. The 76ers, I definitely can see winning a championship and making it very far in the playoffs. But the Cavs and Hawks, I strictly have them top 3 based on regular season only. Like, I don't see them going to the conference finals anything can happen, but I don't see those teams making it that far in the playoffs. But as far as the regular season goes, their competition is the Bucks, the Nets, Chicago, the Sixers. Well, the Sixers I have up there, but those other teams that I named, I don't really see them I don't want to say trying to win every game. I don't see them winning every single game. I see a lot of resting with those teams. Those are older players. The Bucks have been there. They know what to do. They know how to win. They don't really need to win every single game. That's the only reason I don't have them as the top 3 seeds.
And that is fair. And we've seen that from a lot of teams in the past that they and some teams will even mess with seeding on purpose, to really create an edge and advantage.
Yeah, 100%.
And when it comes to the regular season, the only thing that matters is the win column, and it doesn't matter what teams you played to get those win columns.
100%.
So, I can see those teams, and when it comes to those teams in particular, like I said, I do see them improving a lot. And when you look at the standings from last year, 2 through 4 seeds had the same records. The Celtics, Bucks, and Sixers had the same record. They were all 51 and 31. And then you look at where the Cavs were; they were at 44 and 38. So there wasn't a whole lot of gap in the East in general. It just became such a tough division. So really, 5-6 wins separating teams like that, I can see something that happening.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough. Like I said, it's not a cakewalk Eastern Conference anymore. It's gonna be tough. I see the younger teams winning more games in the regular season, and I see like the older, more established teams just trying to get the right seeding. Like, if the Cavs and Hawks are the 2 and 3 seed, I could very well see the Bucks and Nets going like, all right, let's hover around that 6-7 seed. Not the play-in, because we know how dangerous that can be, but hover around the 6-7 seed, get an easy matchup against, I'm not saying the Cavs and the Hawks will be easy, but we know the Bucks and the Nets are probably beating those teams in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. Anything can happen, but that's how I see it playing out in the East.
So we go from a conference where the 10th seed had 43 wins, and now we're going to jump over to the conference where the 10th seed had 34 wins.
What team was that?
The Spurs.
Oh, that was a close one.
The Spurs. Yeah. The seeding ended up very weird last year. How the Lakers even just barely missed it with a 33 win season like that.
Yeah.
But if we're going for top 3 seeds, I actually think that there's going to be a lot of shakeup in the West in general. I think that there were some teams, i.e. the Grizzlies, that, don't get me wrong, are a phenomenal team, but I think that they benefited heavily from injuries on other teams. Some teams underperforming. I don't think anybody thinks that the Suns are going to win 64 games again. So for me, the top 3 seeds in the West are going to be the Warriors, the Nuggets, and the Clippers. I think that, and nobody's going to argue with the Warriors. They are what they are. Draymond drama or not, they are what they are. Yeah. The Nuggets, I mean, you and I both agree that Giannis is the best player in the league right now,
yes,
but
100%.
A lot of people could make a case for Jokic, and it's hard to argue against that. And then you bring Jamal Murray back in, you bring MPJ back. To me, the Nuggets, with all of the health, are easily top 3 seed. And then the Clippers too, a healthy Clippers with, Kawhi, Paul George, and John Wall. They have the experience there. The question of what they're going to look like with John Wall is going to be interesting. The dude barely played basketball for the past 3 years, so
it's been tough.
It's hard to even remember what he looks like. But to me, those are going to be the top 3 seeds in the Western Conference.
Okay, I like those. Not bad picks. My top 3, Warriors, for obvious reasons. Warriors have like one of the best systems in basketball. You can literally put anybody in their system and they're probably going to do good. They have a lot of young players still who are a year older, coming off a championship. They're still hungry. I don't see them dropping out of the top 3. Clippers, I hate the Clippers. Let me just put that out there. But the way they built their team this offseason, they're dangerous. They're going to win a lot of games. Even resting Kawhi and Paul George, they're going to win a lot of games. We've seen what they did last year without Kawhi. I think the trade that they made with the Trailblazers kind of put them over the top. So I definitely see them. I see them being a top 3 seed, even resting Kawhi and Paul George. They just have so many interchangeable parts. It's gonna be really good for them. And Tyronn Lue's one of the best coaches in the league, so he's gonna get the most out of those guys. You're gonna have a point guard battle between John Wall and Reggie Jackson. It's gonna be crazy. So
yeah, that's not a bad spot to be in.
Yeah, if either one of them is coming off the bench, the other team's in trouble. So yeah, they're pretty loaded. They have a lot of shooters all around like 6'7", 6'8", which is like the ideal height in my opinion for the league.
A lot of experience too.
A lot of experience. Yeah, they're gonna be good. My third pick, it's gonna differ from yours. I got the Grizzlies. Ja Morant, Desmond Bane, JJJ, Steven Adams. They just got that DNA. They're gonna fight. They're gonna try to win every single game. They don't care who they're playing against. They're not afraid of anybody. They're young. Most of the East, the guys that they're going against in the East are they're not old, but they're a little older. I just see them beating a lot of teams this year. I see them going really far. I see them being like a probably the 3rd seed. Maybe not the first. I definitely see them 2nd or 3rd seed. They're good. They're really good. So
they did just win 56 games, so it's hard to argue against that really. But like I said, I do think that they benefited a little bit from injuries.
Yeah. Which they're probably going to be again this season.
But if they were the 2 seed again, I wouldn't be shocked either.
Yeah.
Listen, that draft was way Zion hyped, but
Yeah.
even if Zion has been healthy this entire time, to me, I really do feel like Ja's the best player from that draft.
Yeah. And he has more. Man, wait, I don't know if I should say that. Does he have more talent than Zion has around him? Because Zion has B.I., C.J. McCollum.
I'm actually going to probably say yes. I think JJJ is one of the more underrated players in the league.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. Baby AD.
He's got, it's weird because I guess Zion's maybe got a little bit more experience around him, whereas I would say Ja might have more raw talent around him with Bane and everybody. They're obviously a younger team.
Yeah.
But, McCollum isn't the president for no reason. Like he's a very good presence to have around, young players as well. So regardless of what type of numbers he puts up, I do think that what he brings behind the scenes is hard to write off. Those are going to be two teams to watch, really.
I was literally just about to say that. Like, Grizzlies and Pelicans they should be on everybody's radar. I mean, I think the Grizzlies are already on people's radar, but they're a year better this year. They're a year older. I'm not going to say they went toe-to-toe with the Warriors in the playoffs, but those are some good games. I don't know if people remember those. That was a really good series.
It was a really good series.
Series.
I mean, what better way could you learn what playoff basketball is about than having to play the Warriors?
Yeah. Who went on to win the championship. So
So, I expect them to have learned from that experience. I don't I actually conversely don't look at them the same way as the Hawks, because the Hawks had that run to the Eastern Conference Finals, and then they come back and they kind of laid an egg last year.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. That was strange.
They didn't really, what was that comment Trey came out of, like, oh, I only look for playoff basketball or whatever, whatever he said.
Then he gets there and it's like, oh, what happened?
Yeah, and I don't expect that from Ja. I don't expect that from the Grizzlies. Like, I expect them to learn from what happened. So yeah, I like I said, I wouldn't be shocked if they were the 2 seed again. For me, it's just hard to put them above the Clippers and the Nuggets.
Yeah.
I think the Nuggets get written off too easily sometimes.
They do. The reason I didn't have the Nuggets up there is simply because MPJ and Jamal Murray are coming off of injuries. I don't see them really getting their legs under them until like halfway through the season. And
it's possible. Yeah. I mean, MPJ looked really good.
He does.
The other night. And I mean, he just got a payday. That the other question is has he put up the numbers to justify that payday? That's a whole nother discussion. But I really do believe in the Nuggets. I believe in Jokic. I mean, dude, that playoff series, Jazz Nuggets, watching Donovan Mitchell and Jamal Murray just battle it out, like, man, that was some of the most fun that I've had watching the playoffs in a long time.
Yeah, and wasn't that the bubble, right?
Yeah.
Everybody talks shit about the bubble. That was some amazing basketball. Like, that Game 7 was crazy. That was ridiculous. I remember shot after shot, like just clutch shot. That was, the bubble had some great basketball. We'll go back and talk about that one day. Yeah.
All right. So now we got our top 3 seeds, but let's jump back to the East. Who do you think is, I mean, based upon your seeding, it's pretty obvious, but who do you think is going to be, in terms of wins and seeding, the most improved team in the East?
Okay, so my pick for the Eastern Conference was the Cavaliers. And what seed were they last season?
They were the 9 seed.
They were 9 seed last season. And, I mean, as you guys heard earlier, I definitely have them a top 3 seed this year. So, easy pick for me. That Donovan Mitchell trade, that was it for me. I mean, they were already a good team. I'm not sure how they were such a low seed last year, but this Donovan Mitchell trade, they really didn't give up much. They gave up Lauri Markkanen and like 2 other players I can't even remember the names of, no disrespect, but I just think they're going to go crazy this year. Everybody's a year older. Everybody's a year better. Everybody has more experience. I'm curious how teams deal with Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland, because that 1-2 punch is going to be crazy. And then you still have to think about Evan Mobley, Jared Allen. Kevin Love. I love Kevin Love, by the way. Isaac Okoro, Jetty Osman, who is personally one of my favorite like role players. They just got a lot, man. They're gonna be a lot to deal with.
They've got a nice team. Like there's no.
Yeah, they're gonna be a lot to deal with for a lot of teams. So they're not gonna be a 9 seed again. No way.
And to be honest, that's my most improved team as well.
Yeah.
It's really hard to argue with that. You know, I do think, you know, I guess we'll go down the Donovan Mitchell rabbit hole since I already declared my Knicks fandom. It would have been hard for me to part with what was reported to be some of the offers for Donovan Mitchell. I think he is a phenomenal player, and I did want him, but only if the price was right, because I don't think that he has a whole lot of depth. I think really all he brings is scoring. And I don't even consider him an absolute elite level scorer. You know, to me, an elite level scorer is somebody who can push 30 points per game. You look at some of the other players in the league that are basically just scorers. And even, I mean, KD's kind of evolved to be more than that, but you know, you look at a player like KD, somebody that you can expect pushing 30 points per game.
Yeah. So I have a question. Do you think Donovan Mitchell can average 26 points?
26, yes.
See, I think 26 is you're not, maybe not elite, but you're a really, really, really good scorer.
I
like
agree.
26, 27, 28. You're up there with the best of them. I mean, LeBron averages 27. I think KD averages like 28.
Yeah, but you know, with LeBron, I think, you know, you and I have had this discussion before. I think LeBron does what he needs to do.
Yeah.
You know, if he didn't have to lead the league in scoring for half the season last year, he wouldn't have. You know, and I think that's what good players do. But the thing is LeBron also brings other things. He brings passing. He brings leadership. He brings, I mean, defense, especially in the postseason. Maybe not as much in the regular season anymore. But Donovan Mitchell doesn't really bring any of that.
Yeah, but I think he's in a system now to where, like, I think he's going to thrive in this. Yeah, I think he's going to thrive in the system, man. Like the Cavs, they're very unselfish. They needed that number one guy, which I think Donovan Mitchell is going to be. But then I think the gap between like the number one and number two isn't as crazy to where he can take some nights off and they're still going to win a lot of games. They're still going to have like Darius Garland. He's one of my favorite young players as well. Darius Garland is going to do some things this year. And
we get to see, I didn't want to have to find out what a really tiny backcourt was going to look like. That was something that I was legitimately nervous about, and we get to watch it on the Cavs. So I don't really have to worry about it.
And it's going to work. It is going to work.
I think offensively it'll work, but you know, go to a team with a big physical guard, you know, go to the Bulls. Zach LaVine's going to run through both of them like they don't exist.
Yeah, but who's he running into after that?
Jared Allen.
Exactly.
Which we'll talk about later. But yeah, I do think that the Cavs are the most improved team in the East, but I still have questions on really like what they can do to overcome the true elite teams in the East.
Yeah, I would say the one thing I'm worried about. So I think maybe the most important player on their team right now is Evan Mobley. Because he's going to be the guy guarding Kevin Durant. He's going to be the guy guarding Giannis. He's going to be the guy guarding.
Ain't nobody guarding Giannis.
Yeah, no, I know. But he's going to be. He's going to be, or they're going to be his number one assignment. And with it, if he's not up for it, I don't think they make it very far. But like I said, I believe in this team, and they are dangerous. They want it. They're hungry. I can see it. It's just it's going to be tough though. Like I said, I don't have them making the finals or conference finals or anything, but they're going to give teams a fight.
I agree with that. And I do think that there are teams that they were behind that even without bringing on Donovan Mitchell, that to me they should have been better than. You know, to me they're better than the Raptors.
Oh, 100%.
You know, depending upon the Bulls are I think a question for everybody still, especially with Lonzo. But they seeded worse than the Hawks. To me, they're better than the Hawks.
100%. Healthy, yes.
Man, the East.
The East is stacked, man. The East is stacked. It's a good series.
All right, so let's go back to the West now. Who do you have as the most improved team in the West?
Most improved team in the West, I got to go with the Pelicans. Zion is healthy. You put Zion with Brandon Ingram. Brandon Ingram is probably my favorite. I got a lot, but I think he's number one on my favorite young player list. You got Brandon Ingram, Zion Williamson, C.J. McCollum, another one of my personal favorite players. I see a crazy trio with those three.
I agree, and when we were first talking about this, and I was putting together my most improved team in the West, the Pelicans were the first team that I wrote down, especially seeing how Zion looks. He definitely lost some weight. He looks strong. He looks athletic, and I think he's strong enough to be in the same conversation of let's say Giannis, of just he's so much stronger than everybody else that against certain teams he would be unguardable.
Yeah.
But if we're basing it off of win totals and seeding and whatnot, to me it's going to have to be the Clippers. I really do think that. I don't think that they're going to be the 1 seed, but I wouldn't be shocked if they were. Again, John Wall's a big question because we haven't seen him play basketball in so long. But even if he was a pretty decent scorer, even if he just averages a double-double, gives you 14 points and 10 assists, and then you have healthy Kawhi and Paul George, that to me, that's enough to potentially even be the 1 seed in the West. So for a team that last year won 42 games, I could very easily see them winning 52 plus games.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. I could definitely see that. I think they rest a lot, but they're still going to win a lot of games. I mean, Tyronn Lue's going to get the most out of whoever is on the court. So, yeah, the Clippers are going to be tough this year. I mean, we say that every single year, but this year I think it's a little different. The way they built this roster, you can have Kawhi miss 10 games and they're not going to really miss a beat. It's not going to matter into the playoffs, honestly.
Yeah, and that's going to be, we need to see how the mileage stacks up on all them when we get to that point. That it's going to be a big question, but they have everything they need. There's not many teams, I feel like, where you can look at the entire roster and be like, they literally have everything they need to win the chip.
Yeah.
And the Clippers are one of them. And you know how I feel about the Clippers. I joke that, that other team in LA, because that's just what it always feels like.
Yeah.
And I'm sure Clippers fans will agree that's what it feels like to them, for better or for worse. But I really do think that this is one of the best put together teams that they've ever had.
Yeah, and to go even further, it's one of the best put together teams in the league, honestly. I mean, if we look at the way they're built, it's just they have so many forwards that can shoot the ball that it doesn't even make sense.
And they've got multiple people that can guard every position.
Yeah, they can go small, they can go big with Zubac at the center. They can go small with Robert Covington at the center spot. They have so many options that the versatility is what's gonna. I would say the best reason why they have a chance to win a championship is because of their versatility. If we go back to the 2020 Lakers team, it was versatility. Defense and versatility is how you win championships. The Warriors did it. The Lakers did it. The Bucks did it. The Clippers are now the next team that's able to do it. They got to get there. They got to get there healthy.
Yeah, and that's going to be, that's going to be a big question, similar to, there's a couple teams that are really going to rely on health. Mm-hmm. Clippers are one of them. Sixers are another one. There's a couple of these teams that, if healthy, they could beat anybody in the league. Yeah. But, how many teams have we seen make it completely healthy to the end of the year?
It's not many. And usually that one usually wins.
Yeah.
They're the ones that win.
I mean, to me, that's why the Grizzlies were the 2 seed. They were one of the healthiest teams.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes. But what not restricted to a conference. What are give me a team that you think is really trending up and in the right direction.
I'm gonna go Detroit Pistons.
Homer pick right there.
Yeah, definitely a homer pick. But I love the moves that they're making. So they have a very young roster, but I could see them being. They're not going to be good like this season or next season, but I say in like 3 or 4 seasons from now, they're going to be one of the top teams in the East. You got Cade Cunningham, Sadiq Bey, who's a sniper. I don't know if people know. Like, I think he had a 40-point game this last season. Isaiah Stewart, small ball center, one of the toughest guys on the court. They just traded for Bojan from the Jazz, which is a super solid pickup. I think he's going to start at the 3 for them. And, yeah, man, they're going to be a good team. Oh, they also have, I believe they have Marvin Bagley. So he's probably going to be coming off the bench or starting, maybe, who knows. But they have a solid roster. You just project them in 2-3 years from now, they're going to be pretty solid.
I mean, I share your hopes and desires about the home team. I do. I know what it's like. But I'm not going to disagree with you on any of that. I do think that they've made some good moves. I think that they got some really good young talent. Me personally, I'm going to have to go with OKC.
Solid.
Built around SGA at this point. But
amazing
Giddey is a hell of a playmaker. He's so fun to watch.
Future All-Star. Yeah, he's one of the most exciting young players to watch.
Yeah, I mean, his passing is just ridiculous.
Oh, man, yeah.
Lou Dort is probably one of my favorite young players in the league.
How was I not thinking of Lou Dort? Lock up monster.
Dude, Lou Dort is just a menace, and he's so annoying. He kind of reminds me a little bit of PJ Tucker and like how they used PJ Tucker against KD is to literally just frustrate him and like get in his head. Like, oh man, I see that from Lou Dort.
Solid comparison.
And then when Chet is finally healthy, like I really do think that OKC is building a core the right way. And the question about them is going to be the same question that they've always had: is they've built young cores before. They've had Russ, KD, and Harden, and they couldn't do anything with it.
Yep.
And then they couldn't keep them together ultimately. Yep. So I think that they may run into a similar situation, but Giddey, Dort, SGA, Chet, even Trey Mann and whatnot. Like
that team is loaded.
In 3 years, they have the talent to be one of the top probably 5 seeds in the West, especially with the way it is now.
1,000%. I agree with you.
So, to me, I'm excited for what they can be. And we'll see, with Chet out, I don't think that they're going to really do a whole lot this year. So they may be another lottery team. And there's some really nice talent.
I definitely see them trying to tank again because
we know Victor.
Yeah. I mean, just imagine. Yeah, they're definitely going to tank again this year. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure they're going to tank. And yeah, whoever gets that pick, good luck to you. Good luck to you. So.
Hey, I mean, the kid's going to be ridiculous, Victor.
Yeah. Even the guy going number 2 is going to be crazy. So, yeah.
Is Scoot predicted number 2 right now?
I think so. See, I know there's a big talks about those two, so I think he was gonna go number 2.
Dude, I've gone through the unicorn game before with KP, and like, the kid looks amazing, but how many players that size have had really long, fruitful careers?
Yeah, you just gotta hope like they got the right people around them, sports medicine wise, like. Because you can't
some of that won't even matter. Like some of it's just going to straight up be genetics.
That's true.
But we'll see. Like I understand that one day, a 7'8" kid come along is going to move like Kyrie and shoot like KD, and he's going to be the chosen one. That will happen one day. but the gamble and the risk is scary.
Yeah, but I feel like you just have to take the risk, because if it goes the right way, you are going to win.
But all right, let's look at the Zion draft then. Like, okay, you took the risk on Zion. What if somebody else took the risk and you were relegated to take Ja instead? In some ways, I mean, if the Grizzlies got the number 1 pick, they would have taken Zion.
Yeah, 100%.
Everybody,
anybody
who got the number 1 pick was going to take Zion.
You just have to.
But weren't they better off by getting Ja?
Yeah, but I just feel like, I don't know. It's a tough debate. I feel like no matter what, you have to go for that number 1 guy, because
you have to. But like, sometimes you're better off picking number 2.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Where did Luka go?
Luka, I mean, there was the whole Luka trade.
Yeah.
So that was just some weird shit anyway. And I mean, it worked out for both of them.
Yeah. Which is rare,
but now we're talking about the individuals. So let's move on to the individual stuff. So we got MVP here. For me, it's who I just said. I'm gonna have to go with Luka. Luka's the first player that gives me Cav era LeBron vibes of I'm gonna carry this whole fucking team on my back and literally do everything. Now, one of the things that I love about MVP in basketball is that, you know, you don't see a 9 seed with a team getting MVP, and it makes sense to me. You know, most valuable player should be on a team that carries the team. So a lot of this, I think, will also depend upon where the Mavs fall in the seeding.
Yeah.
If they're a 6-7 seed, I think it's going to be hard for him to win MVP. But if he can carry them to a 3 seed, I think it'll be very much doable. I think that, you know, he was my pick last year for MVP, and honestly, he was healthy most of the year.
Yeah.
You know, yes, towards the end of the season there were issues, but you know, to me, last year would have been his year to win it, because so many people that would have been favored to win MVP didn't. You know, with Embiid injuries, with LeBron and that groin injury.
Yeah.
You know, you had some really high level players that were not playing all year, you know, Kawhi and whatnot. I'm still boggled that he kind of fumbled that opportunity last year, but I feel like this year is his year to win MVP. We'll see how it plays out.
Yeah. My MVP pick for this season is going to be Embiid. In my opinion, he should have won it last year. I know there was a big debate about, Embiid or Jokic. Everybody was going back and forth about it. I love Jokic. Jokic is an amazing player. He's really good. I think Embiid deserved it. He averaged 30 and 11 last year. If we round up, he averaged 31 and 12, 4 assists. Led the league in scoring. What seed were they last year?
I think they're 4 seed.
4 seed. I see them getting the 1 or 2 seed this year. I see Embiid again averaging 29, 30. Actually, maybe Embiid only averages maybe 28, 29 because he doesn't actually need to. The team is built so good. He doesn't actually need to average that much this season. But I think he's going to average a double-double again. I think they get the 1 or 2 seed, and I think he wins MVP. Embiid is too good. He hasn't missed as many games in the last couple of seasons, so I think he's getting a little healthier every single season. I think he plays more games this season, if not the same amount. I believe he played, 68 games this season?
68 games last season.
I see him hitting maybe like that 70, 73 mark. I think he gets MVP.
I do think that if he ever did put in a mid-70 game season, then, yeah, it would probably be him consensus. But last year was his high in games played at 68.
Jesus Christ.
You know, it's hard. He just hasn't shown durability. And the talent is there. Do not get me wrong. Like, the talent is absolutely there. And, like, you know, he is a very complete players. Not many guys his size get to the line at the rate that he does.
Man.
Never mind shoot in the mid 80% range from the line. That's one of the things that I would love to see my Knicks do more is have players get to the line more.
Yeah. He's so physical. He's so big. It's like you literally have to foul him. And he's going to shoot over you. He's going to dunk on you. He'll hit a three every once in a while. Like this Embiid is one of the best scorers in the league.
He
7
is,
feet.
But he just needs to stay healthy, and we haven't seen his ability to do that.
Yeah, that's his only knock, seriously. Just staying on the court.
We're gonna have to see, but I do agree that if he put in a 75 game season, he would most likely be MVP. And I actually do think he's going to continue to score at the rate that he is, because I don't think we're never going to see 35 point per game Harden ever again.
No, we're not, and we don't need to, honestly. On this team, I don't think we need to.
Yeah, he's still, Embiid is still the number one option.
Yep.
So 30 points per game to me is still on the table for him. I would actually love to see Maxey be the 2 option.
Oh man,
and I feel like that will happen this year.
I agree with you on that.
But I need to see a 75 game season from him before I can confidently at the beginning of the year say he's going to be MVP.
Yeah, I think he's gonna come back. He always finds some kind of motivation. I think losing to Jokic for the MVP race, he's gonna come back with a vengeance. I think he's going to play more games. I think the reason I think he's going to average 28, 29, 30 again is because he does it so effortlessly. He doesn't have to grind for his buckets. He's just so good at scoring that he just does it. And I think it's going to continue. Like I said, I think they're going to win more games, be a 1 or 2 seed. He's going to be in the race for defensive player of the year as well. So I got him winning MVP, man. It's gonna be tough though. It's always a tough race. But
all right, so who would you have as a dark horse candidate for MVP? Somebody that could, but is not going to be the first name out of everybody's mouth.
Ja Morant.
All right,
Ja Morant. Yeah,
that's respectable.
Averaged 27, 5, and 6 assists last season. And what seed did they have last season? Sorry.
They were 2 seed.
Oh, they were the 2 seed last season. So
they had 56 wins, I think.
And they were one of my teams that was actually going to be in the top 3 again. I think with the West being a little more healthy and better this season, if the Grizzlies still find a way to be a top 3 seed and Ja still averages 27, 7, and 7, I think we got to give him the MVP. He can. That's my dark horse. I think he can do it.
I can see it, and we're actually going to hit a bit of irony here because, I just got done saying that the Grizzlies were probably better off for getting Ja over Zion, but my dark horse is Zion. He looks healthy. He lost some weight. He still looks powerful, and let's not kid ourselves. Media attention does play into this a little bit.
Yeah, 100%.
And I think that the Zion effect will be in full effect this season. I think that there's going to be a lot of eyes on him. I think that this is going to be the season where a lot of executives in the game would look at him and be like, okay, this is the season that I need to see you be the player that you were marketed as.
Yeah. Finally.
yeah. And I do believe in him and that he can do that. And to be honest, I just want to get it straight. If both players played 75 games a season since they were drafted, I probably would say that Zion is the better player than Ja. But in a similar vein as Embiid, we haven't seen that.
Yeah.
So to me, this is the year that we need to see that from him. And I do think that if he does that, I do think he is a 30 point per game scorer. I think that he can actually, on paper, put up very similar numbers to Embiid. I think he can give you a 31-12 season. So, but again, comes down to health. I would like to see his shooting improve. I think we all would, but I really do think that with health and opportunity and with McCollum and some of the talent that he has around him, I really do think that Zion could make a run at it, and the media perception is definitely going to help.
Yeah, I was going to ask, do you think he plays 90% of the season? Because I don't think he. I think he plays like 70%. Honestly, they're going to take this build up slow, in my opinion. I don't think he's going to have a chance or play enough to get MVP.
I would hope that they would let him. I'll put it that way. Like I don't know for sure.
Yeah.
But I would hope that if they find themselves in, let's say 30 games in, they're sitting around the 5-6 seed, and they have to want to make somewhere in the postseason.
Yeah. I was gonna say. So going back to last season, the Pelicans. I know they played a series. Was it a play-in or the series against the Suns? I think they made the 8th seed and played the Suns.
Yes, they were the 8th seed and they played the Suns.
Yeah, so, I mean, they made the playoffs without Zion. I don't think they need him for the full season. I think they need 75% of him, save him for the playoffs. You get that team into the playoffs with a healthy Zion, they are tough. And they're tough. I don't see him playing enough to win MVP, but, anything is possible.
Yeah, and I just, I'm also not a huge fan of, resting players this way. There are exceptions. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, you want to rest an old LeBron, go for it.
Yeah, but when it's Zion, it's like 20. Was he like 23, 24 or something?
Exactly. It's the kid's game isn't perfect, and he's not going to completely learn how to advance his game from the bench. So I don't really believe in resting young players.
Yeah.
I guess that's something in common with Tibbs. But I would rather see them manage his minutes in game and maybe like try to keep him around 35, 36 minutes a game and play him more games than, let him go up to the 40-minute mark and only play him in 75% of games.
Okay. Yeah, I'm with you on that. I could see that working out for them.
And, let's say he played 36. Like, yeah, I can easily see him averaging 30 points in 36. Because, like I said, I do think that there are some teams that he's unguardable against. They just have no answer.
He's a matchup nightmare for pretty much every team, if we're being honest. Like, if his shot gets better, he's a matchup nightmare for everybody. Like, I don't know what forward or center, depending on where they play him, or small forward, it's really like keeping up with him. Other than maybe Giannis.
It would have to be a big team. I mean, the T-Wolves with Gobert and Cat.
Yeah.
Yes, Giannis. Cavs with Jared Allen.
Mm-hmm.
I think there are some teams that could, but I think that there are some teams that would have absolutely no answer for him.
Yeah, he's a matchup nightmare.
So how about some of these new kids in the league? Who you got for Rookie of the Year?
I got to go with Paolo. I mean, I'm a big Chet fan. My pick was going to be Chet, but we all know he got injured, unfortunately, so probably don't get to see him that much. Yeah, that's what I was leaning towards. Chet, man, he's going to be nice, but we got to go Paolo. He's kind of like the only option right now.
I agree. I feel like, it was going to be very interesting to watch that race between Paolo and Chet, but with the Chet injury, I don't think anybody's going to argue that it's going to be Paolo and he should walk away with it. Yeah. I do think that the Magic are trending in the right direction. They've got some nice young guys. Cole Anthony, I really like him, New York native. I think that they're heading in the right direction, and I do think Paolo's going to be really good for them.
Yeah.
And I think that it's basically his Rookie of the Year to lose, even though the season hasn't even begun yet, as crazy as that sounds.
But yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's not really much there other than he's probably going to win it. I don't even know if there's any other name to give it to. Like, there's going to be some other good rookies, but who's the league really going to want to give it to other than him? So.
All right, so let's move on to Most Improved Player, which is a weird award sometimes because it's not necessarily Most Improved. Sometimes it's just like, hey, you were injured last year and you're back now and your numbers are exactly the same, but here's Most Improved.
Yeah, for me, and I don't even know if he's gonna like actually be in the race officially, but I'm going with Ben Simmons. We're talking about a guy who he didn't play last season. We know all the drama with Philly. He's a career average, I think, like 15, 7 and 7 or something like that. 15, 8 and 7. I see him hovering around that. I don't see him scoring that much, so I put him at like 15 points. I see him averaging maybe like 9 assists, 8 rebounds. I see him borderline triple-double this season with the team that he's playing with. I mean, you got Ben Simmons, he's a Defensive Player of the Year candidate, which I probably should have picked him as my DPOY this year. But you got him. He's going to be handling a lot of the defensive duties. And
he's
then,
like the only defender.
Yeah, exactly. And he's 6'10", so he can guard anybody. Then you look at the players he's going to be passing it to. You got Seth Curry, Patty Mills, Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving. Like he's got some guys that are going to score the basket when he gives them the ball. So I think once they find out their offense and their defense, he's going to be the primary like facilitator on offense and the primary defender on defense. So I think like I said, I don't know if he can actually get most improved with how long he's been in the league, but I definitely see him as one of those guys.
He's got the opportunity to. I mean, he's got so many people to pass. I mean, Joe Harris. Like,
I forgot about Joe Harris.
Yeah, like, dude, there's so many catch and shoot options for him. I think Royce O'Neal is one of the the sneakiest, like, best signings of this offseason.
Big pickup. I wanted him for the Lakers. Big pickup.
And I mean, really, the Nets. It's funny that I don't think either of us had them in our top 3 seeds, just because there's so many question marks. But talk about a team that has a talent to literally lay down a 60+ win season.
Yeah, if they have chemistry, they are going to be really good. One big thing I saw from because I did watch their preseason games, one big flaw that I saw, and I don't know if this is just preseason or if this is going to go through the season, but their defense, they can't get stops. Ben Simmons, amazing defender, but he can't guard for the whole team.
No.
Like their defense wasn't good at all.
But that's gonna be the thing for their team, and I don't think that's a secret for anybody. Like they're gonna probably have the most 120-point games out of any team.
Yeah,
because it's literally just going to be okay. Who can run up the score higher?
Exactly. Yeah, and it's gonna be fun to watch. It's gonna be very fun to watch.
It will. And it could definitely favor Ben because he doesn't even need to shoot.
Exactly. And actually, when I'm thinking about it, and we're talking about it now, the floor is going to be open for Ben Simmons to score. He might average more points this season than any other season. He's got the amount of space he's going to have with this team, I think, is more than any space he's ever had with the 76ers. I mean, he was always playing with Embiid, who was mainly in the paint. I mean, Embiid did stretch the floor a little bit. Most of his points came from the mid-range or under the basket. With this team that Ben Simmons is with, I mean, he can be the center, and the amount of space he's going to have is going to be insane. So, yeah, Ben Simmons.
I think all of us deep down inside would love to see what Ben Simmons with minutes at power forward would look like. And really, this is like the best opportunity for him to do so.
I want to see point center Ben. I've been wanting to see it for so long. Obviously, we couldn't see it with Embiid, but I want to see point center Embiid or Ben Simmons.
But I will say I don't want this because outside of this situation, he needs the ability to shoot.
Yeah.
He does. He may not need to shoot right now, but he's not going to be on this exact team for the rest of his career. So I do want to see some effort there. Like I want to see him try some threes, if not for any other reason than his own goddamn sake, you know?
I believe he was shooting 3. I mean, we've heard this before, but he was shooting threes in shoot around. I think he took one in a preseason game. He kind of missed pretty badly, but he still took it. I think. I could be wrong. It might have been the practice that I'm talking about, but he did shoot a 3 in the past couple of weeks. So there's a little bit of possible optimism out there. So,
well, we'll see.
Yeah, we say this every year. He's not going to shoot, man. He's not going to shoot a 3.
I hope he does. But.
He doesn't need to. On this team, he doesn't need to.
You're honestly. Right. He doesn't. But like I said, he's not going to be on this team for the rest of his career.
True. We don't know. Maybe. Anything's possible.
I mean, he may be a net for the rest of his career, but KD and Kyrie ain't.
Yeah, he might not have a space. Yeah,
so we'll see. he's got all the opportunity in the world to be able to get most improved, and I think that it's definitely in his favor. For me, I'm gonna have to go with probably John Wall.
Good pick.
Yeah, he played some games in the 2020-2021 season. Didn't look that horrible, really. I mean, he did average 20 points. But to me, with this Clippers team, I think that if he can come back and, what was his best season? Let's see here.
20 and 10 or some shit.
2016, 2017, he was 23 and 11.
23 and 11. Ooh, not bad. Missed that John Wall.
I know, and he's a fun player to watch, great passer to watch. To me, if he can average, like, let's say 18 and 10, which I think he has the team to do it. Like, I don't think the assists are going to be the hard part.
No, not at all.
If we can get an 18 and 10 from John Wall, I think that he can be most improved player.
I don't think John Wall is averaging 18 points. I see him hovering around like 12, 13, just because of how deep the team is. I mean, Reggie Jackson, really good point guard. He's gonna have a lot of minutes. I mean, whether we don't know who's starting yet, but Reggie Jackson's gonna play a lot of basketball. I've seen them run Terrence Mann in that, like, kind of not really a one, but bringing the ball up, primary ball handler kind of role. Paul George is going to get some assists. He's a good playmaker. They have so many scores. I don't think John Wall's getting that many shots up.
I do think that we can agree that whoever wins most improved this year is basically going to be a player that just didn't really play last year and honestly didn't really improve all that much and is just playing again. Whether it's John Wall, whether it's Ben Simmons, or honestly, it'll probably be Zion.
Yeah, it's probably going to be Zion. Yeah.
And it is just going to be, hey, we saw what you look like again.
Yeah, just to the listeners, we have no clue, and nobody has a clue, like, what actually qualifies as most improved. Like, the NBA doesn't even know. They just pick whoever's fucking wasn't good last year and is good now. Like,
hey, and I do think that when Randall won it, that was a beautiful case of, like, the true definition of most improved player.
Yeah,
now,
I agree with you on that one. Yeah.
What's happened since will
kind of the opposite.
I don't know. But all right, defensive player of the year for me, probably not going to be the first name by some people, but I'm honestly going to go with Jared Allen.
That's a sleeper.
The dude's an immovable object at times. I mean, his rookie year, he was blocking LeBron dunks.
Yeah. Oh, everybody. I remember that season.
Yeah, like it was wild. Like, you look back at that Nets team, dude, and sometimes you wonder why they blew it up, but
we know why. It just didn't work out. Did not work out at all.
Yeah.
Hasn't worked out, I should say.
But Jared Allen, to me, is one of the premier defending centers in the league.
100%.
And I think that he's going to get more opportunity. I think because of the addition of Donovan Mitchell and how much the team is going to be improving, I think that they're going to get more limelight. They're going to get more looks, and I think he'll get more consideration. And to me, it's either going to be him or Giannis. The Rudy Gobert going to Minnesota, we don't really know what him and Kat at the same time are going to look like. That's going to be an interesting thing. So, to me, it's going to be one of those two, and I really do think that Jared Allen could very seriously be in the consideration for it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I could definitely see that. That's not a bad pick at all. So initially I had Marcus Smart winning it back to back, but after discussing the Nets, I'm going Ben Simmons, defensive player of the year. I mean, we already discussed kind of like what his role is probably going to be with this team. I think he can guard. He's one of the few players that can guard 1 through 5. Probably struggles with 1 a little bit. I mean, him and Trae Young, that was kind of rough. Just being 6'10", I imagine, is hard to guard someone that small. But he's capable of guarding 1 through 5. He's gonna have the primary, like, the defense for the Nets is gonna go through him. Like, they're gonna be as good as he is on the defensive end, and he's one of the best defenders in the league. I think he's gonna be everywhere. I think he wins defensive player of the year. It's either him or Marcus Smart for me. But with the role that Ben Simmons is gonna have, I think he wins it this year.
So I was just looking up because I was curious with you, initially going with Marcus Smart, when the last time a guard won back-to-back Defensive Players of the Year. It was before either of us were born. 82 and 83 to 83 and 84, Sidney Moncrief.
Sheesh.
Won back-to-back Defensive Player of the Years. MJ didn't win it. Gary Payton didn't win it.
Damn, I was going to guess Gary Payton, but yeah.
Nope, he did not. He only won one. So that's the last time that a guard won it in back-to-back years. So it would be interesting. I wouldn't mind seeing Marcus Smart get it for that reasoning. It would be cool to see, but yeah, I don't see him getting it. I could see Ben being in the conversation for it. There are gonna be a handful of guys that are always in the conversation.
Yeah.
Draymond will be in the conversation.
Embiid.
Embiid if he's healthy. There's a handful of options, but I suppose Jared Allen would even be my dark horse. I feel like the most obvious, easy answer is Giannis.
Yeah. Giannis is literally always, he's in every single conversation. MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, championship.
I'm worried that he's
contender.
starting to get hit with the LeBron effect of, people are just tired of giving him awards. And I mean, like, he doesn't even need to get better, and the award is his.
I hope not, because, he's only won MVP twice, right? 2-time MVP?
Man,
Or
I have to double check because I can't remember if he did win it twice. Let me look it up.
Yeah, I feel like it's a little too early to start getting tired of MVP.
He did win it twice.
Giannis. Yeah, so he's won it. He's only won it 2 times.
I thought it was back to back.
It wasn't?
I want to say it was back to back. But he just is the unquestioned best player in the league.
Yes, 100%. Giannis is the best player in the league. I hope we're not tired of him yet because, like I said, he's only won 2 MVPs.
Yeah, and he's 27.
Yeah, 27, 1 championship. League, please don't get tired of him this early. He's the guy. He is the best player in the league.
To me, he's the face of the league at this point. Like,
it's getting there. It's not there yet. We're kind of in that, I feel like we're in that middle period where, there's not really a clear-cut favorite, but we have,
it's Giannis. It's Giannis.
He's not there yet. He doesn't have it all the way yet.
But who else has the personality? The dude's hilarious. Him and his Oreo stories and whatnot. Who else can do that at pressers? Who else can handle the media the way he handles the media?
So it's gonna sound like I'm still being a fanboy, but
you're not ready to move past LeBron.
No, I'm ready. It's just I don't think the league is. Every single thing, and I think it's shared right now. I think LeBron, Steph, and Giannis kind of all share it right now, and that's where I was going. It's not one person right now. Even Luka's not there yet with the media, but he's almost there too. It's kind of being shared right now. I think Giannis gets it maybe next year or the year after, because he's gonna get it at some point. He's gonna get that. It's gonna be just him, and it's not even a question. For me, it's still it's a couple people sharing it right now. Steph gets a lot more love now, especially after this championship. LeBron is just LeBron. Whenever he says one little sentence, there's a week's worth of just media attention, and it's shared right now. But Giannis is gonna have it in a couple years.
Yeah, to me, he's the most obvious. The dude's just. He's everything you would want from the face of a league.
Yeah, 100%. I think he needs one more championship. I think he needs one more, and it's got to be it's got to be another dominant one where it's there's not even a question anymore. Because some people still question who's the best player in the league is. Some people still put KD up there. Some people still put Steph up. You kind of have to give Steph the nod because he just won the chip and got the Finals MVP.
There are people who say it's Jokic, and it's hard to argue with that.
I would never say Jokic is the best player in the league. No chip. I don't think you can be the best player in the league without a championship. I don't.
All right. That's fair. Fair.
I think you can win one, and then not win the next one and still be the best player. But I don't think you can never have won a championship and be the best player in the league. And has he made the conference finals? He's never been to the finals. You got to at least make the finals to be the best player in the league. Like, he hasn't even been to the finals.
Hey, I didn't say I think he is.
Oh, okay.
To me, it's undoubtedly Giannis.
To those people arguing Jokic, he is not and has not ever been the best player in the league. So
I just think, even if there are a lot of people, Stephen A. Smith in particular, that will say that KD is the best player in the league. But I will say that I think that KD may be the most prolific scorer of, essentially a generation. But I don't know that I would have ever called him the best player in the league, because Giannis has put up the same numbers while being Defensive Player of the Year. Giannis has averaged 30 points a season and been Defensive Player of the Year in the same season. KD hasn't done that.
Yeah, KD is tough he's tough to judge. You can't argue that he's not the best player in the league, but there's also it's hard to argue that he is. Just
watching the finals that Giannis had and watching the growth in him in that finals alone, dude, those free throws that he made.
Did he miss one? I think he went 16 to 16, right? Or something like that.
I think he missed one or some, which considering that he's a career 70% free throw shooter, he rises to the moment.
Mm-hmm.
To me, he's, like I said, he's everything that you would want in the face of a league, really.
100%. He's definitely going that, I see him going that LeBron route where it's beloved, except he might get it even better because he didn't leave Milwaukee, or he hasn't left Milwaukee yet. But
and because he didn't come into the league as a god already.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Nobody has worked harder than him to get to where he is. He didn't even start more than he started 20. He played in 77 games his rookie year and started in 23. LeBron can't say that. He averaged 6.8 points per game rookie season, then 12.7, then 16.9.
Just kept improving.
Exactly. To me, he wants it more than anybody. I mean, all right, maybe that's not fair, because I know you and I talk about all the time the fact that nobody has the true Kobe mentality anymore. Of did you watch that Netflix clip?
I did not. I was gonna get to it last night. I'm probably gonna watch it tonight. Everybody's been talking about it. It looks really good. I'm probably gonna watch it tonight. The Redeem Team thing, right?
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna watch it tonight. I've been hearing everything good about it. So
yeah, but that just so few people have had that mentality. And I know you and I've said of imagine if LeBron did have that mentality, or how many other players we could say about have that mentality. I don't know. I wouldn't say that, Giannis maybe has that mentality, but he wants it,
Yeah, I think Giannis does have that mentality. I mean, he worked a lot with Kobe before he passed. I think he has it. I mean, those free throws to me are a great representation of the Mamba mentality.
He did, but let's say that he ended up let's say that it's the Olympics and he's playing for Greece and he's playing opposite Chris Middleton. Would he run through Chris Middleton the first play of the game and put him on the ground just to prove a point?
I actually think so.
All right.
I 100% believe Giannis is running through Chris Middleton if he's playing against him. I absolutely believe that.
All right. Yeah.
He's a nice guy, but on the court, Giannis is not a nice guy.
He would do it, and then he would laugh about it right afterwards.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Whereas Kobe would stare you in the face with a dead straight look on his face.
Yeah, that's probably the slight difference in it, but I do still see
the AI step over. Is what I want to see. I want to see him run through Middleton, then AI step over.
I think he runs over Middleton and then helps him up. That's the closest we'll get to a Kobe moment from Giannis.
So, all right, to wrap up some of these, picks things real quick. Who do you have seen in the finals?
All right, I don't think anybody else is on this anymore. I know it was a big thing. Maybe last year or the season? Yeah, I think it was last season. I am going Nets Lakers finals. I'm going Nets Lakers finals. Kill me for my pick. I don't care. I mean, Lakers for obvious reasons, but Nets, if it works, nobody's stopping them. If it works, and that's the big caveat to it. If it works, nobody's stopping them.
But how many times have a team in the beginning of the season you say, if it works, they're winning, and then they actually win? Like, how many times does that actually happen?
It doesn't happen often. I mean, I think I said that about the Lakers last year. Like, if Russell Westbrook works, they're winning. It did not work at all.
No.
But I don't know, man. This team can either be, or the Nets can either be like a finals team, or they can be like a play-in, like barely make it 7th, 8th seed team. I don't know. It's tough, and I feel the same way about the Lakers. Like, the Lakers can either be like a top 3 team in the West, or they can be like a play-in, barely make the playoffs. It's whether it works or it doesn't. They have the talent.
Too many variables, too many questions. I mean, I'm the exact opposite. To me, I go with the boring pick because it just makes the most sense to me. Like, to me, it's Bucks Warriors. Plus, I mean, don't we all want to see that?
I wanted to see that last year, and we were robbed because of Chris Middleton's injury. So,
without a doubt, a healthy Middleton, and that's what we got last year. And I want to see that. I want to your point. I want to see two faces of the league face off. I'd be down with Bucks Lakers too, because I think that would be really fun to watch. But I just think realistically, Bucks Warriors just makes the most sense.
Yeah, it does. Man, a part of me just wants to see Giannis get another championship. I don't know why. I don't know what it is.
I don't. You're going to. Like, I don't think anybody doubts that.
Yeah, and I think he needs to beat a face of the league, which it's either Steph or LeBron. I need Giannis to beat Steph or LeBron, and after that, I think the transition is done. Like, it's him. But I think we got to see that. Like, beating the Suns was cool, but it's the Suns. Like, that was their first time there. It was Chris Paul's first time. It was Devin Booker's first time there. Like, yeah, good job. You got it. Championship was a championship. You got it. But I want to see him beat LeBron. I want to see him beat Steph Curry. And I mean, his role there through the East was good because he beat Kevin Durant, James Harden, Kyrie.
I think KD's shoe size beat him.
I think they beat the Heat on the way there, which was Jimmy Butler, Bam. Like, his road to the finals was incredible. And then topping it off, beating Chris Paul and Devin Booker. Like, that was a crazy run. It was almost like that 2011 Mavs Dirk Nowitzki run where...
Yeah, that was magical.
Yeah, he beat like Kobe, KD, Russ, I think the Spurs, and then ending it off with LeBron, beating LeBron, D-Wade, and Bosh was insane. So I want to see that. I want to see Giannis against Steph or LeBron. I want to see him beat them. I mean, no, I don't want to see him beat LeBron, but if it happens, I'm cool with it. You know, Giannis is the guy. But yeah, no, I'm still gonna stick with my pick though. Nets Lakers finals. If everything works. Sucks that I have to say that shit, but yeah.
It's a big if, but we'll see. All right. So we talk about basketball all the time, and we usually do it for a long ass time, and that's exactly what we've been doing right now. So you know what? Let's wrap this up with Homer stuff about Lakers and the Knicks.
Oh man. The segment I've been waiting for.
So hit me with your Lakers.
Okay. Top thing I want to discuss with the Lakers, man. Shout out to Darvin Ham. Incredible pick. Great coach. I already see the vision. I mean, he came from Milwaukee. He won that chip with the Bucks. So a lot of their DNA is kind of coming over to the Lakers. Kendrick Nunn looks good. Kendrick Nunn looks really good. I mean,
you wanted to trade him.
I definitely wanted him out of here. I wanted him off the team to get someone else. We're not going to talk about that. The trade shit is over. I'm tired of talking about it. I'm tired of thinking about it. We have Kendrick Nunn. We have Russell Westbrook. we have the other people that were going to be traded. Yes, Kendrick Nunn looks amazing. Now, we still have like 6 point guards. I don't know how it's going to work, but Kendrick Nunn has to get minutes.
Including LeBron.
Yeah, including LeBron, who's going to be the point guard when it matters. Doesn't make sense, but whatever. Kendrick Nunn looks amazing. He can shoot. He can shoot the three. He can shoot the mid-range. He can get to the bucket. He can dribble. He actually looks like an NBA player. Like, what's different about last year and this year is our players actually look like NBA players. They look like they belong on the court in the starting minutes. So,
you think he's going to set a career high for points per game? Which would be 15.3.
Oh, do I think he scores more than 15 this year? Yes. Okay. Yes. I think he can get 16, 17. Actually, no, I don't know. It's tough, man. We have so many guards. I don't know who's going to be playing most of the guard minutes every night, so it's tough. Russell Westbrook is still there. He's still making like $44 million, so he's still going to get the ball. It's going to be tough. But regardless, Kendrick Nunn looks amazing. I'm happy he's there. I'm happy he's actually on the court as opposed to last year. Austin Reeves, Caruso 2.0, is looking amazing already. The preseason games that I've watched, he's been everywhere, getting steals, shooting threes, playmaking, which we didn't see a lot of last year, but I knew he could. He just looks better. He looks better. Got a lot of praise from LeBron in, I believe, their last preseason game, which is usually a sign of something good. LeBron doesn't just praise everybody. But Austin Reeves, man, everybody look out for him. He's here. And Pat Bev, I didn't know how I was gonna feel about this. I didn't know how him and Russ were gonna work. Apparently, they're best friends now.
Until they're not.
Yeah, right. Pat Bev, he's definitely set the tone. He's talking a lot. He's playing defense. He can actually shoot. Like, we actually have shoot. I was watching the preseason game and I'm like, yo, we actually have shooters. Like, we have people that can shoot. They may not be known for it, but we actually have shooters now. It's last year's team versus this year's team. There's a big difference. Pat Bev is going to set the tone defensively. I mean, every single point guard is going to have to run through him. They're going to have to go through Austin Reeves. They're going to have to go through Kendrick Nunn. We're going to make it tough for a lot of teams. Those are the 3 guys I'm most excited about outside of the big 3, obviously. I'll try to wrap it up with them. It's not much to really discuss with those 3. LeBron looks amazing. Who didn't know that was going to happen? He scored like I think he shot like 8 for 11 in the first half against the Suns. Completely destroyed them. Look unstoppable. Yeah, it's LeBron. If you didn't expect this, I don't know. I know a lot of people were talking because he went like 0 for 7 in the first preseason game. Yeah, who cares?
It's preseason.
It's LeBron. Like, shut up. Anthony Davis. He got
biggest question on your team, really.
Biggest question on the team and most important player on the team. He was supposed to play that second game. The first game he looked good. I can't skip over that. He looked good. He looked like he was trying. I think Anthony Davis' biggest question is always his motor. How much effort is he going to give? Does he want to play the 5? Those are always like the most important questions with him. First game he looked good. He was getting a lot of rebounds. I think he had a double-double in the first half. He got scratched the next game. Back tightness or back soreness or something like that. Not a good sign. It's the preseason. Literally, he just told the world he wanted to play 82 games. I know it's the preseason, but he's already not starting out too good. Hopefully he plays today. I believe they're playing the Warriors today as of now while we're recording this. Yeah, biggest question. We need Anthony Davis. He's not the best player on the team, but he is the most valuable. Without him, we do not win. I mean, we saw it in the bubble. Anthony Davis looked amazing. We won a championship. The next year he gets injured, we lose to the fucking Suns. So, yeah. And last but not least, Russell Westbrook.
Oof.
I'm just gonna be completely honest. I wanted Russ traded. I am a big Russ fan, by the way. OKC Russ, man, I love Russell Westbrook.
One of the most electric players to watch of all time.
Oh,
and I
yes.
mean, like,
yes.
So few players could do, the triple-double magic that he was capable of for so long.
He averaged a triple-double. I mean, this is no hate. Like, Russell Westbrook is one of the best point guards ever. He averaged a triple-double.
Yeah, for multiple seasons.
Yes. It's not even a question how good he is. It's just we're in the later years of his career.
He was a very physical player, and
Yes.
it just that wears on you.
Yes.
There's no denying it.
The athleticism isn't there like it used to be. But so I want to say,
And he's not doing. I mean, he's trying, but he's not like. To me, one of the most perplexing things about LeBron is the fact that he's been able to evolve his game. Like he's been able to like kind of turn into a shooter, which is wild to say. I mean, I would like him to shoot better free throws. But
that's probably never changed.
fair enough. But like, you know, when the athleticism goes away, the finesse needs to take over.
Exactly.
And Russ has not had that. Instead of dunking, he relegates himself to layups that he misses.
Yeah. I want to say this about Russ. So the good parts of his game, or the best parts of his game, have kind of regressed, while the worst parts of his game are not really physical. They're more mental, so they're still there. So he's not exploding and dunking on people anymore. He's not getting those crazy layups anymore. He's not getting those ridiculous passes. But the turnovers are still there because that's mental. He's missing layups now, which is more of the athleticism leaving him. Like, the best parts of his game are kind of leaving, while the worst parts are still there because they're not really affected by his athleticism. Like, you can't. Those turnovers are bad, man.
Yeah.
Those turnovers are bad. Those
and
blown
people
layups
used to
are bad.
overlook it because he would get, 11 assists and 5 turnovers. And
Exactly.
and if that's what it is, then you overlook it. But now when he's getting 5 turnovers and 7 assists,
Yeah, and only scoring like 12 to 13 points, it's not good, man. He's a big question for us. I would love to see him come off the bench. I doubt it happens because he is who he is, but Russ off the bench would be a monster. Yeah, we're gonna be. I think we could be fine with having 10 point guards on our team. I think we're fine if Russ isn't playing at his best. But if we can get a bought-in role-playing Russ that exceeds, the ceiling is very high for this team, and I'll end it on that.
That would be ideal, but I could also understand if he had the perspective of like, I'm fucking Russell Westbrook, like I don't need to. I shouldn't need to, and it's hard to argue against that. It really is.
Yeah.
Like
he averaged a triple-double, man. He won MVP
for 3 consecutive seasons.
MVP. Yeah.
He had a season where he averaged 32 points or whatever it was, and a triple-double with 32 points.
Insane.
Like it just doesn't make sense.
It's insane.
But he is what he is now. And I know that you and I have just discussed a lot of like a Knicks Lakers trade with Russ, and I would take Russ under the right circumstance. You'd have to probably give me Reeves in the process, which you wouldn't want to do, but
not happening.
It's hard, and he just doesn't offer anything defensively. And talk about your bubble team. Like, if I recall, you were the best defense in the league, or second best defense in the league.
Definitely top
like
5 in there somewhere. Best it all starts with defense. I think we're learning that with the past 3 championships, because you got the Lakers, the Warriors, the Bucks. The one common thing with those teams is their defense was amazing. Top 10. You got to have a top 10 defense. And then if you have LeBron on your team, if you have Giannis or Steph, the offense is going to be the offense. Like, they are the offense.
Yeah. So he just, I don't know. It's hard, and honestly, it's kind of sad to watch because he was such a fun player for so long.
Man. I think he's still a great player. He just does not fit with this team. I don't understand you put someone who needs the ball to be successful next to LeBron, who also needs the ball for you to win the championship. Like, I just didn't understand the logic of it. I don't understand it, but
Le GM.
Hey, man, Pelinka just got extended.
That's a whole
Yeah, we don't even have to discuss that. I have no thoughts or opinions on that, by the way. It is what it is, man. The Lakers, they are a weird organization. I'm here because LeBron is here, so I just got to put up with it. I imagine he's happy because he did extend with them, so he probably wants to retire there or whatever team his son plays for. So,
or back to the Cavs.
Yeah, whatever. Let's talk some Knicks, man.
Knicks. It's I honestly don't even know how to look at this season. I think that there's just a lot of like I was saying earlier, with the potential Donovan Mitchell trade, like, yes, I wanted to trade Mitchell for the right price, and I think that I've just seen, you and I were talking before this, I've seen enough from these players that I just need to see a little bit more. Maybe if the Donovan Mitchell trade came up next season, I would have been willing to, part with some of these guys. But like some of the things that I've seen from Obi Toppin, especially, RJ's a two-way player that I think is on his way to being an all-star. Jalen Brunson, that signing, I mean, the Knicks have needed a point guard forever, basically.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't even, I grew up not knowing what a point guard is, essentially. I'm hopeful. That's probably the best way for me to put it when it comes to Brunson, is I'm hopeful. It's weird because like when Luka was down, he had really great moments. And that's what I'm hoping we get. Yeah. I'm not expecting like, some of those in the first playoff series, some of those games that he had were outrageous. And I'm not expecting that. I think that would be unfair.
Yeah.
But I would very much like to see a player that's going to be averaging like 20 and 7.
I definitely think that's what you get out of Jalen Brunson.
I hope so. I really do. I hope so. I would love to see him improve defensively. And I mean, if he's going to do it, it's going to be now with Tibbs.
Yep.
Especially because we've got a lot of other defensive-minded players. I love how, I've gone back and forth on Tibbs. I love Tibbs. I think he's a great coach. But I have questioned at moments, whether he was the right coach for us because of our youth. But I feel like enough of the youth have bought in. Quentin Grimes is a great defender. Miles McBride has bought in, and I mean that he had like 5 or 6 steals the other night. The youth is buying into his mentality. So this season I feel a lot better about that. His first season I felt great. We had the 4 seed. Like when was the last time that happened?
Yeah.
And then obviously quite a bit of regression last year. And last year was when I started questioning, like, okay, aside from the fact that he is a great coach, is he the right coach? And I started, my mind was going to like Kenny Atkinson, because I loved what he did with that Nets team, and it did break my heart to see that team be broken apart and see it not work, because, that team was fun. I really enjoyed that team. But now that I see that the youth is buying in, and I'm seeing that Tibbs is willing to give more minutes to players and rotate a little bit more. I mean, he is Tibbs at the end of the day, so RJ is going to be playing 42 minutes a game,
which is not a bad thing. I mean,
it's young. Not a bad thing.
He's young. He's going to be the center of their offense, so. I love to see it.
But seeing 40 minutes of RJ is not a bad thing. But there are some nights where seeing 40 minutes of Randall, I don't really, I'd rather see him split more minutes with Obi.
I know we're going to get to Randall at some point too, so I'll save what I have to say. But
yes, yeah, Randall will definitely be a talking point. But I don't have much in the way of expectations for us this season. Obviously, the easy answer that I've been telling myself for the last I don't know how many years is I just want to see progress. I want to see development in certain players. I want to see RJ take the next step, which I really do believe that he can. I'm a big RJ believer. I do think that we made the right move extending him. I don't think we really had a choice, but I want to see him start to push towards a, give me a 25 and 10 season. If he can get to that, I'll be ecstatic. And at that point, I will think that not trading for Mitchell was the right move.
Yeah.
So I want to see that. Obviously, I want to see how Brunson fits. I honestly kind of want to see a little bit less Evan Fournier. I know what he is. I'd rather see more minutes to Quentin Grimes.
Yeah, I'm I'm actually looking at the roster right now, and I think I have to. At first I was like, you guys should definitely just give Utah whatever they want for Donovan Mitchell. But I'm looking at the roster. This is not a bad roster at all. I don't think this is bad at all.
I want to see more of it. You know, like I want to see where it can go.
I think you guys are one trade away from being like a solid like 7-6 seed. Honestly,
I would agree. I think where I feel like we're a small forward away. You know, I feel like we're Brandon Ingram away.
Yeah. I 100% agree with that. I'm looking. Jalen Brunson, solid point guard. Derrick Rose coming behind him, solid point guard off the bench. I mean, that's a 6-man of the year candidate.
We got, honestly, a point guard. I'm not even worried about at this point anymore because, you know, we got Brunson. Yeah. And then off the bench, we got Emmanuel Quickly. Yeah. And his chemistry with Obi Toppin is phenomenal. Like, they are the lob duo.
Yeah.
You know, Miles McBride, I feel really good about. I feel like he's coming up. So, and then we got D Rose for the veteran. Like, I'm actually the least concerned about point guard. I don't ever have to see fucking Elfrid Payton again. Like, those were some rough minutes to watch.
Yeah.
Small forward to me is the question.
So they actually have RJ Barrett listed as small
I know.
forward.
So he does. It's weird because like what they'll usually do, they'll start. If I'm gonna guess how it'll end up looking this season, more often than not, is Brunson will be at the 1, Fournier will be at the 2, and RJ will be at the 3. But I would love to see more of RJ at the 2.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm a big fan of players his size playing at the 2. You know,
I would
to
agree
me,
with you
I
on
mean,
that.
it's MJ, Kobe, like that 6'6", 6'7" is the golden height for just a strong shooting guard. He plays great defense, and same with Quentin Grimes. I want to see Quentin Grimes be the bench too, essentially for RJ. I don't know. I want to see a lot of minutes from him, and I do want to see them both on the floor at the same time. I just prefer more of like a KD style 3.
Yeah. No, so I'm pulling up the I pulled up what they did in preseason, and it looks like they ran Jalen Brunson at the 1, RJ Barrett at the 2, Cam Reddish at the 3.
That was the last game.
Yeah, the last game. Julius Randle at the 4, and then Mitchell Robinson at the 5. Then the first game, they did it a little different. They went Brunson, RJ Barrett, which looks good on paper. Evan Fournier at the 3.
They list that, but more often than not, Fournier plays at the 2 and RJ plays at the 3.
Okay.
That's what they did a lot last season. Would be Fournier at the 2, RJ at the 3, and I'm fine with RJ. Like, to me, RJ can play either, but to me, we get more value out of him at the 2. His shooting has improved enough to play 2. And I like the KD, Brandon Ingram archetype for a small forward. I even like a LeBron style small forward would do. Obviously, we're stuck with Randall.
Yeah.
I do. To me, he's blocking Obi. I think Obi has a ton of potential. I mean, he just 24 points in 20 minutes. Yeah. I understand it's preseason, but when Randall was hurt at the end of last season, Obi was phenomenal. He had that 42-point game against the Pacers where he just looked unstoppable. Yeah,
and honestly, I think for this year's team, I think Obi is the perfect 4. I think you have your starting power forward already. It's just politics-wise, you cannot bench. I mean, you can bench Julius Randle, but at this point, I think he needs to be traded. I mean,
he does, and I it's hard because I don't think he can be. I thoroughly enjoyed what he did for us in that 2020 season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was a good run,
and I appreciate him, but he can't. I honestly don't think he can handle New York, I think is what it kind of comes down to. New York is not an easy market to play in.
Yeah.
You know, look outside of basketball. You know, to me, there are a couple players in New York right now that understand how to handle New York, and then there are a bunch that just can't. There are guys that are literally superstars in any other city except for New York.
Yeah.
You know, somebody said it about baseball at one point that, you know, most teams play 162 game season, but in New York you play 162 one-game seasons. And it's absolutely true. And the moment that he started doing the thumbs down, like, that just soured me. He doesn't always feel like a team player. Yes, he'll get some passing moments, but he's a bit of a ball hog at times, and he gets frustrated. And he's one of those players that you get in his head and you frustrate him, and his performance goes down the drain.
Yep. We've seen that too many times with him.
He's just, you know, you put him on the Bucks and it's a dynasty.
Mm-hmm.
You put him in New York City and it just doesn't feel right.
Yeah, I definitely think you guys need to find some way to get off of Randall to build a team. I mean, I think we talked about this a while ago. Like, Isaiah Hartenstein, like, he shot 46% from three last year.
He's my favorite signing for us this year.
Yeah, that was a big move. 7 foot, shooting 40. Well, granted, it was only last season he shot that well, but 46% from three last season, 7 feet.
Especially when we got Mitch, it brings zero spacing to the floor.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's kind of tough to run Mitchell Robinson, Julius Randle, like, at the same time. It's kind of tough.
And that's our starting lineup. You know, I love Mitch. I need to see, like, I want to see Mitch be Ayton, to be honest with you. Like, I actually think defensively he's better than Ayton, but I want to see a double-double out of him every goddamn night, and he hasn't given me that. Like, I don't know that it's sad that I don't know this, but I don't believe he's ever averaged a double-double.
Maybe not average. He's definitely got you a lot of them.
No,
though.
because his best was 9.7 and 7, or 8.5 and 8.6. I want to see him average a double-double. There's no reason why somebody his size, especially now that we have the passing in place, can't just be a continual lob target. I just don't see the tenacity in the offensive game from him. I mean, he had like 3 blocks in the first half the other night. I know what he's capable of defensively, and I do think that he's worth the money that we gave him from a defensive standpoint, but that's not today's NBA.
Yeah, no, he's got to be if you're a big that can't shoot, I feel like, in my opinion, you just have to be aggressive 99.9% of the time. Like, you can't just be out there just getting rebounds and being a liability on offense.
I mean, even look at Rudy Gobert. You know, Gobert averages like 15 points per game. You give Mitch that, give me 15 and 10, I'll be ecstatic. And to your point, factor in Randall and everything. It's just it's a weird fit, and for a player, Randall, that we were more or less discussing building our team around 2 years ago, he almost feels like he's the worst fit on the team.
Yeah, I definitely think he is. I mean, with the rise of Obi Toppin's shooting ability, I think, because Randall had that good year where he was shooting a lot of threes and making them, but I feel like the past 2 seasons it's been like hit or miss, and it's more or less been miss.
People figured him out because he has his spots, you know.
Yeah, and once you figure out somebody's spots, it's kind of over for them.
Exactly. You know, that season he played so much ISO ball, especially on the baseline, and people figured him out.
Yep.
And the great ones figure out how to evolve past that, and instead he got frustrated.
Yeah, and that's why ultimately I think they should trade Randall, get some more pieces to build around what they have, because they do have a really good team right now, or potentially a good team. Jalen Brunson needs space. If you got 2 guys in the paint who can't shoot, you're kind of defeating the purpose of having him there, because he's a get to the bucket get an assist type of point guard. RJ Barrett just gonna get buckets. That's all he really needs to do. Play defense. Your three, I guess it doesn't really matter who they start at the three, right? You could go. I like Cam Reddish. He hasn't looked good, but I like Cam Reddish as your 3-and-D small forward.
I like Cam too, and I'm a Cam fan, but he looked really bad the other night, and I don't think that he's going to get the minutes that he needs to develop on this team.
Yeah. And wasn't there some type of news of like him being unhappy with the Knicks or something like that? And
but then he came out and said, "Oh, it was horseshit."
Oh,
so
okay. Yeah.
the same deal as we always.
That makes sense. Yeah, no, they and then your four. I think starting Obi Toppin at the 4 is, you can't go wrong with it. I mean, highlight reel. He can shoot threes. He can dunk on it. They're getting out of the way when he runs to the paint. And then your center rotation is pretty good. I mean, you got Mitchell Robertson, he's creeping around a double-double every game. And then you have Isaiah, who's, like we said, shooting 46%
really
from
signing.
3. Yeah,
really
and he's still getting you 7 to 8 rebounds. So,
and I think Jericho Sims shows potential too. I mean, he's got some foul issues from time to time, as a lot of young players do. He's very, very athletic. So I'm not too worried about the center depth. Like I said, I would love to see a little bit more offensive tenacity out of Mitch. Again, like, I really feel like we're a BI, a Brandon Ingram away from teams borderline taking us seriously, as sad as that is to say.
Yeah, I could see that. It's like, when is one of those players going to be available, though? That's the biggest problem.
I mean, it'll probably have to be trade market.
Yeah. But then you're giving up what you've built. That's the only problem with this.
Not necessarily, because we have like 40,000 first-round picks.
Yeah, but you also have to pair. I mean, look at what we just got to base it off of recent history. We got to look at what Rudy Gobert went for. We got to look at what Donovan Mitchell went for. We got to look at what.
Yeah, but Ainge doesn't count because he's a psychopath.
Yeah, that is true. I'm trying to think who else.
I mean, he got more for Gobert than he did Mitchell, really.
What did the Philly Nets trade was pretty hefty. I think a lot of the trades we're going to see from now on are going to be like...
Yeah, but I mean, it was based on 2 all-star players being traded for each other. So, I mean, we could get rid of some of the depth that we have at point guard. We could offer Miles McBride. We could offer a bunch of first-round picks. Obviously, we're not going to come out getting rid of nobody. And the best situation would be to just sign a free agent.
Yeah. And now that I'm thinking about it, I mean, Donovan Mitchell got traded for Lowry marketing, 2 players. I can't remember the names of it, just a shitload of picks. So I guess you could get away with some type of like,
and
Randall,
maybe it
deal or something.
Exactly. Maybe it's like, maybe we even include Mitch at something. Yeah. But
I could see like a Mitch and Randall with a shitload of picks, just to a team that has a good player, but also they want an expiring contract or something to get off the books or something.
Randall ain't expiring.
How many years does he have?
Too many. Too many.
Never mind.
Because when we were talking about a Russ Randall trade back in the day, you were like, yeah, sure, until I told you that you have him for like 4 more years or whatever. Like, it's...
Lakers aren't doing any trades that are giving them a player that is going to be there after LeBron and AD are no longer there. So, yeah, anybody... Yeah, it's not happening.
Yeah, so he has a player option for the 25-26 season.
Yeah, no.
So
good luck.
Counting this season, there's 4 seasons of Randall.
Good luck, Knicks fans. Good luck. I'm
averaging
sorry.
27 mil.
I'm sorry to hear that. Good luck. Yeah, he's not getting traded anytime soon. I could be wrong, but I don't know a contender that wants Julius Randle. Actually... No, there's some teams out there.
I mean, did you think there was a contender that wanted Andrew Wiggins?
No. Yeah, that's why there's some teams out there that'll take Julius Randle. If he's going to be our third option, we're a small market.
Exactly. Small market. Not only that, but the way that the salary cap moves, I don't think we're going to trade him this year. Next year would be questionable. But in 2 years, 25, 27 million doesn't feel like a whole lot when Dame Lillard's getting 60.
Yeah, no. Yeah. I don't know. Anything can happen today, man. A lot of people got traded I did not see actually happening, so.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens, but I mean he's the one that I feel like doesn't really fit. So like I said, I have no expectations. I just want to see the young players play, develop. I wasn't ready to let go of them yet. I understand that, you know, you're banking on something that could be when you could have had something that already was. And I usually am the kind of person that would rather take the already is. But in this instance, like, my gut feeling was just like, I don't want to get rid of these guys yet.
Yeah, and I can understand that.
So,
just to jump back real quick, Lakers Warriors preseason game is about to start. The Lakers announced their starters. We got Austin Reeves, Lonnie Walker, Max Christie, Juan Toscano-Anderson, and Anthony Davis at the 5. So LeBron, Russ, Pat Bev not playing tonight.
It sounds like they're essentially winding down preseason, other than throwing AD in to just get him minutes.
Yeah, I guess we're load managing the preseason. So yeah,
but hey, this is one of those things where, like, you kind of need to see AD drop like 25 points in 20 minutes.
Yes, exactly. I want to see him replicate what LeBron did in the last game. He's got to go crazy, set the tone, let us know.
Did you see Warrior starters?
Yes. Andrew Wiggins, Steph, Kuminga, Looney, and Jordan Poole. So they're going to light us up. I don't care what we do on defense. I need to see Anthony Davis get a double-double.
Are they going to light you up like Draymond Green lit up Jordan Poole?
Amazing transition. I'm curious to see what Jordan Poole's face looked like in this game. So, because there's a picture floating around out there. I don't know if it's real or not, but his eye was very
swollen
purple.
Shut, probably.
Yeah, it was purple. So I'm really curious to see what he looks like. Should be an interesting game. No Clay. They're gonna light us up. I want to see Anthony Davis drop a double in a half and then sit. Steph is probably going to give us 25, 27, hit like 5 threes or some shit. Should be interesting. But, yeah.
Yeah, that is an interesting starting lineup. Well, we'll see how it goes, but I know that there are plenty of other things to talk about. We talk about the Draymond Green drama. We could talk about the Suns drama, because I think that's going to be a big reason why they start to fall off. Yeah. And not just the Sarver disgusting shit, but the Ayton Monty Williams drama,
and Jay Crowder drama.
Dude, I know. I really do think that they're 5-6 seed at this point.
Yeah, they're definitely going to drop.
The Nets drama, because I do think that that's going to play a factor. You can't just, I know KD will say whatever the fuck he wants to say, but like, you can't just walk back those things about, how he felt about Nash, and, he basically built this team and then just wanted to walk away from it. There are a lot of things that we could talk about, but we're pushing 2 hours at this point. I'm sure I'll edit this down a bit, but I mean, here's to the opening of the 2022-2023 NBA season.
Man, hoping for the best, expecting the worst.
Yeah, here's to a Lakers Knicks finals.
Oh man, that'd be amazing. I don't know what we would do. I'm pretty sure we'd throw like a crazy party.
I mean, I would probably be selling a kidney to go to one of the home games for the Lakers.
That would be insane.
But
let's speak that into existence, man. Knicks Lakers finals this season. That's how we're gonna wrap this up.
Ooh. I was with you until you said this season. Like, if you said next season, I would have been like, you know what? I like your mentality.
Nah, man, let's go all the way. This season, Knicks Lakers. Come on, we got it.
It's just
LeBron versus Obi Toppin.
Oh man, what universe are we living in right now?
Oh man.
All right. Thank everybody for tuning in to us bullshitting this entire time. We've done this just between ourselves for years, so congratulations. Now you get to listen to it.
Yeah, everybody tune in, man. More on the way.
Duke and Sean are out.